Welcome back, guys, to another episode of F1 Career Mode. Today we'll be racing in Austria for the Austrian Grand Prix. It's a sprint weekend, so we've got a sprint going on this weekend. And we will have two chances at making points today, as we will simulate through the remaining days before the Grand Prix.
Okay, mate, I'm pleased to say that our new parts have come through without any issue, so they'll be on the car, ready for the next race.
High up in the mountains here at Spielberg, it's time for qualifying on what will be the fastest laps of the season. Stand by for qualifying at the Austrian Grand Prix.
We're in the final corners we go. We've got first lap in qualifying, in sprint qualifying, and a first around only lap. We're currently in P20, but that's because everyone else has run their first lap, so that's nothing to look at. We're just having our first lap now as we want to use the medium to the best time possible. We're up by 1.5 tenths going into the first sector. 1.5 tenths up on Bottas.
And we've been pushed down to P20.
We go a bit wide there. We're up by 5 tenths now on Bottas, so we should be through to the next part of qualifying as we're around the last couple corners. A little wide in the last corner, but we put a 1.67 and that puts us into 7th for now. We end up getting P11 in this session and our teammate gets P9, so that's good for the team. As Kevin Magnussen, Joe Guanyi, Hulkenberg, Bottas and Sargent are all out of Q1 in the sprint qualifying onto the Q2. Onto the lap we go. We got 1 minute left in the session and we got 1 lap for us to get through to the Q3. Our teammate currently sits in 12th, we sit in 15th without a time on the board.
We've dropped to P15.
And we get into 10th position for the moment. We'll see as others cross the line to see whether we can stay in, and we've fallen out. Into P11 we go. Could it get worse? The answer is yes, as Gasly improves enough to go above our time, and Gasly is through to Q3 of the sprint. He gets P9, putting him through, and we're in P12, which is close enough, but we would have liked to get through into that last session.
So it's all about speed in today's sprint. Not very many laps and no chance to get ahead on strategy. Who here today has the raw skill to take them to the top? It's one of the shortest laps on the calendar today then, with 7 rights and just 3 lefts, making up the 10 corners of this high-speed circuit. Turn 2 is barely a corner at all. They'll be flat out through there, a left-hand kink into the uphill braking zone of turn 3. Turns 1, 3 and 4 are all potential opportunities to overtake. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And Lando Norris lines up alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Oscar Piastri, Leclerc, Sainz, Perez, Fernando Alonso, Hamilton, Russell, Gasly, Stroll, Daniel, Albon, Tsunoda, Ricciardo, Magnussen, Joe, Hulkenberg, Bottas and Logan Sargent. Which of these drivers will get pole position today? We'll soon find out. And alongside me here today in the commentary box, Anthony Davidson. Well, they say that a change is as good as a rest, and whilst there's not much rest on show in the sprint format today, there's definitely a change to what we're usually seeing on the track. I know what we've got to do before the start of today's race, but what about our driver? What do the final hours look like for them?
Well, for them, you've got your pre-race rituals that you go through. You see different drivers that, some have got their headphones on, they're listening to the music. Some drivers really absorb the energy from the crowd and they're there waving to them. Other drivers, they go within themselves. They chat to their engineers, absorbing that information, that vital information that you need to carry you through the race. And, those pre-race rituals are essential to making things systematic. We do a lot of Grand Prix in a season, and the more systematic you can be, the easier you are within that environment.
The formation lap gets underway ahead of today's sprint. It's going to be interesting to see who gets pole position. As all the cars take their positions on the grid, the final preparations have been made, and all that's left is for the drivers to deliver on track.
Five lights, and away we go for the sprint race. Good start for us, bad start for Stroll. Down the inside goes Tsunoda as he looks for a position but doesn't take it. Gasly ahead of us in P10, looking for a move on Hamilton as he goes into the turn 3. Caution flag ahead, or behind actually, just because cars were going slow into the 3rd turn.
All right, let's focus now for the rest of the race.
A little bit of gravel on the outside of that turn.
DRS is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you're within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
We go a bit wide out of that turn into the final couple corners going on here. Into the third sector, we take a little bit of gravel again out of that turn. Sonoda going up the inside, looking for a position. We hang it around the outside, we keep maintaining the position, and we're able to overtake or keep our position against Sonoda, P11. So there's a bit of a train ahead of us here. Seems to be about a 5-car train. As Russell and Perez battle each other for position. Sainz and Perez fighting for position now, going into the next few corners. We take a bit more gravel out on the outside of that turn. As Sonoda approaches us from behind, he looks to overtake. He goes down the inside, we hang it around the outside, and we're able to maintain the position. As Perez seems to be battling ahead with one. Oh, there's a mechanical failure ahead. Mechanical failure of Perez. Russell and Hamilton get through. We have an illegal overtake on the sides, which gives us P9 and 10 now in the Grand Prix. Sergio Perez out the Grand Prix, and Albon goes up the inside of us. And down the inside Gasly goes on Sainz as he makes the position. Into P8 he goes, and now he's in the points. As we look to overtake Sainz, and we do.
You're in the top 10 now, keep it up.
Or we hang it around the outside on Sainz, and we are able to maintain the position. We get up to P9, now in P8 and 9 here at Alpine. As Russell and Hamilton are battling ahead for position. There's Sainz and Albon battle behind us on position. Hamilton and Russell battling each other ahead of us. As Albon's approaching us from behind, he looks to be going for a move here into turn 3. He's not able to go for it though, as he sticks behind us in P10. Only 4 laps to go on the sprint race as we approach Gasly from behind. We're just keeping steady behind him as he goes after the Mercedes. Mercedes now just over 2 seconds away from us as they battle each other for position, costing each other time. As Albon goes for an overtake down the inside, we're hanging around the outside into the last turn, and we keep the position. We stay in P9. We're just losing DRS on Gasly, as we're only behind him by 1 second and a bit. A little bit too far for DRS, as we take a bit of gravel out of the turn. Albon looking to overtake us, but he can't, as we maintain position. He goes around the outside, we stick to the inside. Going into turn 3, we hold on to position for long enough, and we still go side by side going down into turn 4. We hang it on the inside, we keep our car where we need to, and we push him away and take the position.
They seem to have an issue.
Leclerc has a problem now on his car, and he seems to be pulling over. Yellow flag ahead, and Leclerc's out of the race. We will go up into P8, Gasly will take P7.
Okay, clear.
And now we have points, both of us. 3 points for the team, as Leclerc goes into the pits to pit for his problem. Hopefully for him he can get going again, except it doesn't matter what happens because he's not going to be scoring points in the sprint, as we take a late turn and we hold on to our position into lap 11. Albon approaching close to us as we go into the last couple of corners. We gained some time out of that as he's now 6/10 behind us. That'll be good enough for us to hold on to our position going into turn 1. Stroll and Tsunoda battling behind us as they battle for P10. Tsunoda's able to maintain the position though as he holds on to P10. Oscar Piastri wins the sprint race. As we come around for the last couple of corners, Gasly will get P7 and get 2 points for the team, and we'll come home with P8 and get 1 point for our team. Good day for Alpine.
And that's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
Driver of the day going to the winner, Oscar Piastri, as he gets his
So that wraps up
sprint
the
win.
sprint race, but there's still more action yet to come this weekend. We've got qualifying and, of course, the Grand Prix.
As we get 3 points altogether for the team in this race. Oscar Piastri, Lando Norris and Max Verstappen, the podium sitters. As Fernando Alonso comes P4, Russell P5, Hamilton P6, Gasly P7, Self P8, Alex Albon P9 and 10th to Yuki Tsunoda. Two nearly DNFs. We had Perez who DNF'd and Leclerc who was able to get into the pits with enough time and was able to keep his race going.
High up in the mountains here at Spielberg, it's time for qualifying on what will be the fastest laps of the season. Stand by for qualifying at the Austrian Grand Prix.
We're around the final corners, going into our first qualifying lap. Here we go. We open the DRS going into the second straight on the track. We use all our ERS that we can, with the remaining 26%. Perez putting on a 1:06.6. Lando Norris with a 1:06.1 as we go across the line for a 1:06.9. Better than Stroll, worse than Alonso. We split the Aston Martins as now we go into our second lap. Currently in P12, that'll be good enough to get through to Q2, but we probably will need to up our time a little bit if we want to stay in. As we go across the line with 1 minute and 3 seconds remaining. Our delta goes positive into turn 1. We come out with over 2/10, but we go a little bit wide and off track. In real life that would be lap deletion, but luckily it's a game and it's not the same. As we lose a bunch of time out of that turn, we go purple first sector. Across the line we go. We improved by 2.5 tenths, which is enough to keep us in P12. Our teammate gets P9 in the qualifying session, as Hulkenberg, Stroll, Bottas, Sargent, Magnussen and Joe all out. Here we go for our first lap in Prix Q2. We're probably not going to do a second run, as we want to save a set of tyres just in case for the race, just in case we need softs. But we'll use these softs here, these new softs, to get to lap time on the board. We use all our ERS that we possibly can to go as fast as we can. Into the final last corners we go. Foot flat to the floor, and across the line we go to put us into P5 below our teammate. We end up getting P14 as Hamilton, Gasly, Ricciardo, ourselves and Tsunoda are eliminated. Gasly just beating us out. Unfortunately, our race wasn't recorded properly, so we won't have the results of the race. But we did finish in P7 and 8 as a team. We just came across the line faster than Gasly and just beat out our teammate. As now we sit on 11 points with 18 as a team. We're edging closer and closer to Visa Cash App RB, as Gasly was just behind us and could have actually beaten us in the driver's standings with that race, but we just came across the line just passing Gasly. We beat him by 12 thousandths of a second. But anyway guys, I'll see you in the next video. Make sure to like if you enjoyed the video and subscribe for more content. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.